Hey everybody, it's October wrap-up time. Even though I have a few days left, I wanted to get these done before Halloween started because, yeah, we already are doing fun things with the kids to kind of celebrate that, and I don't know how much free time I'll have left. So I'll go ahead and dive right in with what I read. It was a very good reading month. I read some very, very compelling literature, and it was exciting. So without further ado, the first thing I read was Citizen, an American Lyric by Claudia Rankine. This was actually a very short poetry collection about race. It was very good. I would say probably half of them I really loved, and the other ones I felt kind of lukewarm about. But it was nice to get a different perspective. It was different than I normally do. Poetry is not something that I do regularly, and I'm trying to work that in more normally. So, yeah, it was a good book. The second one was Wind in the Willows by Kenneth, Grahame, and that was a read aloud for my kids. We got a really good illustrated copy from the library, and my eldest has now put it on his Christmas wish list because, yeah, it was animals in the forest, breaking the law, driving cars. Yeah, it was really, really fun, and I think we will definitely be reading that aloud again and again and again. So I definitely highly recommend that. If you can find a good illustrated copy, it's probably worth the extra money because the illustrations are fun. The third one I read was The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah. And yes, this was on my definitely need to read this fall list, and it did not disappoint at all. I felt like it was the best World War II novel I've read in a long time. It kind of read like a feminist history, like novelization of what World War II had as an impact on females, their relationships, their lovers, their self-identity, their self-care, their parenting. I felt like you got to see little peeks at all different kinds of women of different parts they played in the war, whether they were actually doing some spy work or whether they were harboring fugitives or helping people escape or having to let Nazi soldiers stay at their places. It was very, very good. You got a wide breadth of what the war meant to lots of different people, and I really loved it. So I think it's going to make my top list for fiction for sure, which is hard to say because I read some really good stuff this year. So the fourth thing I read was The One in a Million Boy by Monica Wood, and this was I wouldn't say it was a fun read either. It read quickly though. It's about you find out the boy pretty early on he's kind of different. He has a lot of manners. So he's very interested in a lot of things, but he's especially interested in world records and the Guinness Book of World Records. And as he's doing scouting, he tries and helps this older woman get a record for herself. Through it, she kind of discovers who she is and what she wants out of life, even though she's over 100 years old. But the boy cannot fulfill his duties, and his dad has to take over. And you kind of find out about their relationship. You find out about the boy's effect on all the people around him, even just in the short time that he has spent with them. And it was a very, very neat book, very heartwarming. And as a parent, it was a good read. So I definitely recommend it. Whether you're a parent or not, it was good. The next one I read was The Mothers by Brit Bennett. And this one I really liked a lot. I actually had to return it to the library, even though it has a really good cover if you peek at the cover. And a lot of people are talking about it being one of their favorite novels of the year. Nadia is the main character in it, and she is having to keep some secrets. She gets pregnant as a teenager, and some events conspire to kind of lead her down one path where she's trying to not be like her mom, I think is kind of the gist of it. And through it, you see how women affect one another, how mothers affect each other, how people who aren't necessarily mothers by birth, but also the mothers of the church are play a big part in her life, for good or ill, and best friends. And it was really interesting to hear what other people have to say about their relationships with their mothers and what they want and what they don't want for their own futures with their children, whether they choose to have them. And I really, really appreciated it. It was a very quick read because I did not want to put it down. I wanted to find out exactly what happened to all the characters. Yeah, yeah, I really, really, really liked it. It was another one that's going to at least be a contender for, there's some really good ones. It's going to be a long video for my favorites of the year. The next thing I read was Superbetter, a revolutionary approach to getting stronger, happier, braver, and more resilient, powered by game theory by Jane McGonigal. And I actually put this in one of my nonfiction November recommendation videos. Superbetter, she did a TED Talk video. So if you are unfamiliar with it at all, check out the TED Talk. It's really short and it will probably give you a new way of looking at things without having to go through the whole book, even though it was not a chore to go through the book by any means. It was fun. It made me want to try and figure out different ways to sneak gaming into my regular life, to make dishes more fun, to make laundry more fun, to make parenting more fun. And yeah, it was just a very cool, different self-help book than I've ever seen before. And there's a lot of research to back up her claims. So it was fun to pick up, especially if you're looking for a nonfiction November read that's fun. It would be a good one. The next thing I read was Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl by Issa. This had been on my radar for a while, and Bay Radley on her channel, she's got a really good channel if you want to go check her out, had mentioned it. And so I picked it up and it was really fun. Again, like I've been trying to read a lot more about race and what people see as themselves and what bothers them about race relations in general. And it was really cool to get her perspective on that. So, and it was a short read too. I think it was only around 200 pages. The next thing I read was Finding God in the Waves, How I Lost My Faith and Found It Through Science by Mike Mchargue. I think that's how you say his name. But he calls himself Science Mike. He actually does a podcast, 2 podcasts that I listen to, The Liturgist and Ask Science Mike. And I like faith memoirs. I am a person of faith, and I think it's really interesting to see how different people find the divine in their own lives. And yeah, I like it when people deconstruct what they grew up with and rebuild. And that's a lot about what this book is about. So if faith memoirs are your thing, this is a really good one to read, especially if you are coming out of a more fundamentalist understanding of Christianity and moving towards something else. I would definitely pick it up because I think, or listen to his podcast. He has some great things to say. The next thing is The Fire This Time by Jesmyn Ward, and I actually heard about this on NPR. It's a collection of different writings on race, and there was this particular poem in here that I really loved, and I meant to copy it out to read to you, but it was basically talking about how he got nervous about talking about race because he didn't want to just be that black guy talking about race. He wanted to be somebody, not just pigeonholed into that. And it made me think a lot of times about why we choose to speak up about race and why we choose to keep our mouths shut sometimes. As a white person, I'm tired of shutting my mouth about things because I feel like voices are often marginalized and that's not right. So I feel like I'm trying to do my best to speak out with my voice so others don't have to. And I don't know, it's just an interesting thing to think about right now in America. And I'm sure other places too, but the next one was very, very good, and I would highly recommend it for Nonfiction November. It's In Order to Live, a North Korean girl's walk to freedom or guide to freedom, and it's by Yeonmi Park. This was, oh man, I did not put this memoir down at all. I didn't know much about North Korea before this, other than that it was rough. This book shows you how rough it is. You feel like you are sitting there in her shoes, starving with her, going through crap with her. And it was very, very, very hard-hitting memoir. Yeah, it's going to be on definitely on the top lists for my nonfiction for the year because it was very good. If you are going to pick up one memoir this year, I think that might be it. Yeah, it's a good one. In Order to Live, everybody's talking about it. It's a good one for a reason. And the other two that I've not finished yet are Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I'm getting there slowly but surely. And also Crooked Kingdom. For some reason, I had some library holds come in sooner than I expected, and everything you know how reader problems, everything came at once. And yeah, I've also been trying to kind of do the whole parenting thing well. So Yeah, so some of my reading has slipped off for the last week and a half. But I'm okay with that. I'm really enjoying the fall time and getting to go hike out in nature and all that. So let me know what you really loved about reading this October, or if there was something else that really just took your time. I would love to hear about it. I'm really enjoying seeing new subscribers. I know that's really exciting. So thank you for subscribing. If you want to like or subscribe, or yeah, just give me a suggestion in the comments. I would love it. And have a good, I guess, November. I can't believe it's November already. So talk to you guys later, and hopefully I'll have some more videos up soon with a couple more nonfiction reads that you can use for Nonfiction November. Bye, guys.